So again, if you weren't already, hopefully you're now familiar with how the range function works. In our example, we're providing one argument, the length of the list, which is 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, of course meaning that it will start at 0, go up to, but not include the 8, so we'll go up as far as 7, and therefore we've got our 8 iterations there, which are going to play perfectly into our hands. This is fine in this example, but can anyone see what we could do if we're dealing with lists where we don't know how many elements the list contains? So have just a moment, think about that for the moment, and hopefully you understand that what you need to do is use a more dynamic way. How do we account for this? Above, I've hard-coded in the length of the list, which is range 8, as there are 8 elements in the list. But what if a list is created dynamically? It may contain 5 elements, 6 elements, 7 elements, X elements. Well, the easy way to do it is just find the length of the list using the length function. So very simply in here, you just put in this little function here, len, and what the list that you want to find the length of in between its brackets. And by doing that, that will give you back the 8. But now when you do that, you can put the name of any list in here to find out the length of the list. So just for purposes here, I'm just going to go length, create a variable just for the crack for a moment, of list equals len my list, and print out the length of that list. And this is just very slow, boring, just for a second, just to really drive it home here, how this little function works and how important it is in this question. So as you can see here, 8 is printed out. That is the length of the list. If I add in another element here, just put in one more, 29, let's say, it should go up to 9 now, and it does, and I would take any out. So that is the length of the list. So this little one here returns the length of whatever the list is, and I don't need to create a variable here. All I need to do is include that inside my range function here. So in here, I'm going to put in len and the length of my list. Of course, it must be finished off the brackets there. And now when I print that out, that's just going to give me, in this case, the index is there, because of course that's range 8. The length of the list is 8, so starting at 0 going up to 1. So that now has moved us a step closer to what we want to do. However, we're still not printing out the elements in the list. And just note how here the initial first element sequence is assigned the index 0. Again, we should know that. So notice the index positions that are printed out. So what we get here is when we print index, we get 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And of course we have my list printed out twice. So let's do that now just to make sure. So print my list there, and let's go and print it again, just to be following the notes here. So if we run this now, we're going to see that we have the list printed out here at the start, and we have the list printed out here again at the end. And notice how this variable now takes on the values using the range function of the indexes of the list. And that's, well, the range function, again, we've already looked at it. When you provide a value, it starts at 0, goes up to that number, and it just allows you to iterate around. So that's all fine, but we want to target the elements in the list. So now, using list indexing, we can print out each item in the list using its index. And very simply, all we say here is the following. We just say, okay, well, my list, and we want to use the index from the iterating variable moving around there. And now we watch the difference. So again, print your list there. That's the first one. Print your list here again at the end. But now using list indexing, and index keeps changing here with the range function. It's the first time index is going to be 0, and then it'll be, so 0 will print out 85, then it'll increment to 1, and then increment to 2, to 3, to 4, to 5, to 6, to 7, and that 7 is the last one, of course, goes up to, but do not include the 8, but that's doing it hard-coded. Index automatically increments there with the help of the range function. And that's a really big thing, and that's the way we want to be able to target the elements in our list.